If you love the outdoors and care about Mother Nature, you should know this year's Earth Day theme, Restore Our Earth, is geared toward evoking enthusiasm toward emerging green technologies, a sense of communal responsibility, and most importantly, a feeling of hope in the age of COVID-19. Green Living mentor and founder of Good Girl Gone Green, Stephanie Moram wants to turn that powerful message into impactful actions. She's here now to share those ways we can all celebrate Earth Day. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here on the show. Now, what's a good way to start celebrating in our own neighborhoods?
So one thing that I love to do and what I encourage you to do is to walk around and pick up trash. I know this might sound a little bit weird, but just grab a bag, grab some gardening gloves, and just walk around with your kids or by yourself and just look around to see, hey, is there a wrapper on the ground? Is there like a disposable mask on the ground that I could pick up so I can bring it home and drop it in the trash appropriately? Because everything leads to water, and we don't want disposable masks, and we don't want paper wrappers and all these things to end up in our water.
That's a good point, and that's something easy that we can do for sure. What about cutting down on plastic waste?
So I think everybody knows that we have a plastic problem, and it's just all about how can we reduce our plastic consumption, right? And the first thing is, for what I would highly recommend, is to reduce your plastic by reusing stuff you already have. So if you're heading out to, I don't know, grab something to eat, grab that reusable water bottle instead of having to buy a disposable plastic water bottle. Maybe grab some utensils so you don't have to use the plastic utensils that you would normally get at a restaurant. So just being a little bit conscious of having that to-go bag with you might be something that you can throw some little things in, like utensils, napkins, have your water bottle, have your coffee mug, or even a container that you can put your leftovers in, just to reduce that plastic consumption.
Yeah, that's something definitely to think about in a way that would be very helpful. And as you said, there are a lot of everyday items that we can probably be replacing with these reusable alternatives. Any other suggestions on that?
Well, another thing is to think about, if you just bought, I don't know, a jar of peanut butter or mayonnaise that was glass, how can I divert that from going to the trash or the recycling? Can you reuse it at home to put your leftovers in? Can you use it as a cup? Can you use it for something else, just to divert that amount of trash? Well, it's not trash, but that bottle or jar from going to the recycling. What do you have at home that you can reuse? So I have tons of jars that I reuse for crafts, that I use for glasses, that I reuse for multiple things throughout my house. So I'm not having to put it into the recycling.
Yeah, we have a lot of excess trash, it seems.
We do. And I think people often forget that a lot of stuff that we do have, we can actually reuse, like that glass jar. I have this great quick video on my Instagram to show people that if you're buying almond milk jars, like those containers, you can reuse that spout and put it on top of a mason jar. So now you have a spout for your mason jar. I reorganized my whole kitchen drawers with old boxes and old almond jugs that I've had instead of having to go out and buy like bamboo, dividers. It doesn't look super pretty, but my drawers are super, super organized because I'm reusing stuff that I already have instead of buying new.
Yeah, that reorganization, reusing, that's always helpful. How can we live greener at home with plants?
So plants, my house is starting to be covered in plants right now. I think plants are great because if you get them at a local nursery, you can have plants at your house, and it also helps clean your air. That's like the one thing that I love about plants. They're living, right? So they help to clean your air so you're breathing in that clean air, which kind of leads me to another tip about opening your windows, which are super easy. It's completely free. You don't have to buy anything. Open your windows. Most of you are in California. Most of the time you can have your windows open. So open those windows, get the air in, breathe in that clean air. And it's a free tip, and it's also free to do.
Oh, fresh air is always nice to experience. Talk about how supporting our local community can also play a part this Earth Day.
Well, I think supporting your local community is going to those local restaurants, right? It is going to that local plant shop. It's putting the money back into the pockets of the people in your community. So it's the restaurants, and especially during this time, I feel like a lot of restaurants closed down for, a pretty big significant amount of time, and now it's time to put the money back into their pockets instead of going, to the big box stores. Can you find what you're looking for at a smaller shop instead of going to those big box stores that are in essence going to survive? It's the small stores that have been impacted the most during the last year. So going to a local restaurant, going to a local florist, going to a local store. If you need mason jars, is there a place where you can buy those mason jars locally versus the big box stores?
Yeah, and we're talking about the ways that this obviously benefits our environment and the planet. But just talk real quickly before we let you go. How good does this make you feel inside? Because I know when I recycle, I do feel a little bit better, like I'm doing my part.
Right. Like every day is Earth Day for me. Every day I'm living my life in a very sustainable way. And my role is to help encourage and empower people to want to do better, to want to recycle, to want to compost, and feel good inside when they do it, when they know that they're making a difference. And my whole philosophy is do one thing every day to move the needle forward on your journey, because we're all on a very completely different journey. I'm like way over here and someone might just be starting here. And it's like that one thing. Today I'm not going to use a disposable straw. I'm going to bring my own, or I'm not going to use one at all. So every day moving that needle forward to make change in your life, and try to make every day Earth Day if possible.
These are awesome reminders and tips, Stephanie. Thanks for joining us today. If you want more eco-friendly advice from Stephanie, visit goodgirlgonegreen.com.